Liam Norman healing update. I've been threatened by Neil Beedle, who is part of the paedophile ring, who sold, tortured and trafficked me when I was a child. There was him in the van, a big black van, and another man in his passenger seat on the left wearing a baseball cap. He was a short man. Neil's quite tall and large. So the smaller man, I don't think the smaller man said anything, but he had a blue t-shirt on, possibly a sports polo t-shirt, a baseball cap, and Neil was in the driver's seat. Sometimes Neil wears a baseball cap, but I don't think he had a cap on. He pulled up beside me. I'm close to West Bulls Carvery, and the road that I was on is near Snuff Mill Lane. One moment. I can't remember what type of van it was, but I took the number plate while he was speaking to me. And he said something like, "You'll be in the back of the van in a minute, you silly little cunt." So I said, "Go on then." Or I said, "You know where I am." Obviously I was stood in front of the van with my ear defenders. I think the passenger on the left had a weapon. He had something in his hand, because they appeared to both look at something that was in his hand, which could have been a knife or a gun. Obviously it's just speculation at the moment, but the Satanic, Murderous, Peadophile network are always using intimidation tactics, and I have most of my memories repressed as a kid, but the network is so evil to where they just torture you. They don't mind putting children or multiple children in the back of a van and torturing them and letting them know that they're a piece of shit and they're property of the network. I was working with repressed memories of people just coming in our home as a kid and like taking our food or shitting on our food. Obviously sometimes your mind can play tricks on you, but the memories are blocked because the torture is so awful. So the registration plate of the large black van was O for Oscar, E73, F for Foxtrot, K for Kilo, and G for Golf. OE73FKG, Oscar Echo 73, Foxtrot, Kilo, Golf. So ultimately they drove away. I stood up for myself and also used my intelligence within the situation. Fortunately there was some other members of the public. That the road is where I was walking into Cottingham, and then the road is, I think it's the same road where Magnolia House care home is. And that's where one of my ex-girlfriends worked, who I was with when my dad died. And it's just intimidation from the network, because obviously they sell children, they steal the innocence of children, they torture and traffic children, and they intimidate survivors. At the moment I've been asking members of the public for help, or what some people could call begging. I'm still waiting for support. I've been fighting against the police and fighting against the Satanic, Murderous, Peadophile network. And obviously the mental health services have been helping me, but it's also so painful and so distant. And I think if I'd have shown anything, if I'd have given in to the fear which they tortured me with as a child, then I think they would have hurt me. It's a strong possibility that the man who was in the passenger seat had a gun in his hand or a knife. I'm very confident he had a weapon. And obviously when you're a child, you give up having been anally raped and trafficked by a satanic murderous paedophile network and tortured by your uncle and forced to give your mother menstrual oral sex and conditioned that your body and your brain and your psyche isn't your own, and you're forced to hate everyone, and it's evil. It's such an evil system. I'm pissed off with the police at the moment because they've got my mobile phone and my tablet, so I'm probably going to release this and go to town and court. The police are clearly not helping because Neil, who is a paedophile, how can I say or at the very least, because if you're in that network, he's part of a satanic murderous paedophile network who sell children and torture and traffic them, and then they're sort of blackmailed as adult victims who are not really adults because they're just tortured kids, and they just hurt everyone. And like, Neil is a paedophile. He's part of the satanic murderous paedophile network, and he runs a carpet business on Hessel Road called First Choice Carpets and Vinyls, and it used to be First Choice Carpets and Beds, and as best as I can remember, they moved the shop next door after I'd had one of my rapes, and I don't want to go to the police. I think I'm going to go to town and court, and I'll probably release this video. It's just about staying strong, because obviously they just want you to be quiet, but there's bodies buried under 115 Dodswell Grove and 24 Longford Grove. I'm not going to go directly to the police. I'm going to go to town and court, speak to Cypher, and if somebody from Cypher can't help me as a go-between for the police, then I'm going to probably go directly to the police. But within these situations, that's how the network, they're all part of a satanic murderous paedophile empire, which is run by psychopaths. So that's how they operate. So yeah, I've been asking members of the public for money and could be considered asking for help or begging, but I've just been resourceful. I think I've received approximately £30 from the public in 3 days, and I had 2 chicken burger meals, chicken burgers and chips, and then I had some chips from another takeaway. He just put them out on the bin, but he said that they were fresh. He just put them out, so I ate them. They were in a bag. I'm so tired. I've got £5. I checked my bank again today, and there's no update in terms of financial support from the mental health services. So I continue to wait and be patient, and this is just horrible. Yeah, I think what I might do is I might go to Cypher, and I'm going to ring 101, and I'm going to ask them to witness. I'm going to ask them to witness my call to the police. This network sold, trafficked, and tortured me as a kid, and they forced me to rape my girlfriend in my 20s, while the system was going to kill my little brother. And Neil had the locks changed for me at our flat as part of the, and it's repressed. I raped Becky. I let a man into my flat to rape me. The system are fucking evil. So I'm going to go to town and court now, and I'll also release this video. Thank you, bye.